And then obviously it comes to the point where he said, they ask him, do you disavow or condemn white supremacy? And he can't just outright do it. And the biggest defense of this that I've seen from all the Trump folks, right, who just refuse to criticize him about anything, these fucking lemmings, like, I respect a guy who's objective and is like, okay, Trump does some good stuff and Biden does some good stuff and they both do some bad stuff, and okay, fine. But if you can't, criticize anything about Trump, then there's no way to even have a conversation, right? I'm going there and I'm like, all you got to do is just say, yeah, I condemn white supremacy. And all these people are tweeting it because I was like, how do you just not say no? And they're like, how many times does he have to say it?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how many times. As many times as he's asked.
Yeah, every time.
Every time you're asked, you condemn it. Every time you're asked, are you going to build the wall? Does he go, I've already said I'm going to build the wall.
If they ask him, do you condemn ISIS? Do you think he'd be like, I mean, ISIS, chill, stand back, stand by.
Not even stand back, stand by. I don't have to say anything because I've said it in the past.
He will say it
every fucking time. It's the worst excuse for it. And when I see you being Trump, refuse to condemn white supremacy or any supremacy, just go, I condemn all supremacy except American supremacy. He could literally flip it and be like, you know what supremacist I am? I'm an American supremacist.
Yeah.
I condemn all types of supremacy, gender supremacy, racial supremacy, all that. But American supremacy, that's it. I'm America first.
That's a good answer.
You say that shit, motherfuckers are going to be ripping American flags off the wall, throwing them in the air, shooting guns. They're going to be so excited. Maybe not ripping them off the wall, but you know what I mean? Posting them up off the wall. Very excited. But the dude is so terrified. He's so fucking scared of losing that part of his base, the part of his base that he believes supports white supremacy, that he can't condemn them publicly. What is he to me, that's just cowardice. I think it's a huge miscalculation on Trump's part, and Trump usually doesn't miscalculate. And regardless of what a lot of people are going to say or not, there are people, myself included, that's on the fence, okay? And I'm really struggling with this idea, like, could I vote for Trump? You know what I mean? Like, could I do it, right? Could I vote for Biden? Could I do it? And I'm looking at it objectively, right?
This is walking into the debate.
Walking into the debate, right? I'm looking at it objectively. A lot of people won't share this, especially people in entertainment, but fuck it, I'll share it with you guys. And I'm looking at Trump and I go, you know what? I don't want to fucking kill innocent brown people in the Middle East anymore for fucking oil. Okay, and I know if a Biden administration is in there, we're back at stupid, pointless wars, and we're shooting up fucking weddings of these innocent fucking people. Okay, and I don't want to do that. I don't like having it on my conscience. And if I got to pay another dollar for gas, I'd rather do it than kill a bunch of innocent families. I'd rather not do that. Okay, not to get too serious. All right. Also, economically speaking, Trump's policies I think are going to be better for the economy. I really do. And I think economy is very important. I think a lot of people die when the economy is shitty, just like a lot of people die from a pandemic. So it's something I'm concerned about. So I'm like, okay, I side with those two things over Biden, okay? Regardless if Biden believes any of the bullshit that he's spewing about diversity and helping people that have less and supporting and all the Democrat values that he seems to have like created laws that absolutely go against, like the crime bill, et cetera. Doesn't matter. He seems to be atoning for those things, or at least trying to atone for those things. I side with that on Biden. And I'm going in here and I'm like, Trump, Biden, give me some inspiration, right? If you don't condemn white supremacy in the most affirmative, assertive way.
When asked point blank, do you condemn it?
I can't vote for you.
Yeah.
You removed my ability to vote for you.
Yeah.
That's what you did, Trump. And there was a lot of people in the middle that are like me, I imagine, that now go, well, now it's indefensible. Before I could defend it, if you just went out there and you just said, I condemn that shit, then it was defensible. And I can go, look, he has stimulus packages for, what was it? There was the platinum plan, or he's trying to do for black people. How are you going to say he doesn't like black people? How are you going to say he's racist? The wall isn't necessarily about racism. It's about protecting American jobs, whatever mumbo jumbo he's trying to say. There's ways that you can create excuses for it. The second you don't condemn supremacy of any kind, I can't support you. Simple as that.
Yeah, and it's annoying, especially because in the past, Trump has condemned it. Like, I saw like multiple videos. There's like a 2-minute compilation of Trump condemning white supremacy. He's saying David Duke's the worst. I disavow the KKK. White supremacy of all kind is bad. He even said, similar to your thing, I disavow all supremacy. And I was like, all right, cool. But he's so stubborn that when asked point blank by someone in the media, hey, do this thing. And he has Biden over his shoulder being like, yeah, do it. He's so stubborn that he's not willing to be like, all right, I'm going to do the thing even though I don't want to do it.
Is it stubbornness or is it I saw a month
I've
ago.
heard two things.
It's not stubborn.
What I saw is
I've heard two things. I heard one, and I'll keep his name quiet because it's off the record, but I've heard two things, right? One is obviously, he just doesn't want to piss off his white supremacist voters, right? Two, I've heard he just absolutely hates media, and he doesn't want to be told what to do by media because he knows exactly what they're trying to do.
Come on, son.
That's what I've heard from people who have interviewed Trump a lot and they know him. That's another, and this is someone who told me this is not like some white Trumper at all. He's just somebody who is, I believe, an objective journalist.
My only pushback on that would be, I assume in some of these sound bites in this 2.5-minute clip, he has been asked point blank by media members, do you condemn white supremacy?
Yeah,
I doubt it came up organically. And for all of them, he was like, yes, I condemn it.
Yeah, it's true.
I say, and again, this is the first thing. A month or two ago, I started seeing like Trump is very concerned about winning this election. So he's leaning into his zealous fan base that he knows will go out and vote. Because whether or not you like Trump, most people don't vote. We have strong feelings, then we sit at home.
Yeah.
If you can really get a motherfucker to love you and fight for you, he'll go vote. And that's kind of how I think he won in 2016.
Right.
One of the reasons. And I think now he's leaning more into it in 2020 because he's like, the moderates don't fuck with me as much anymore.
They do, though. That's his miscalculation. They front like they don't, but I'm telling you, there is a huge faction of moderates that would consider voting for Trump just because Biden is so uninspirational.
Clearly there is, because no one publicly supports him, but he got elected. So there are a bunch of moderates that go out and vote for him. And if they feel that's a thing that's best for them, I respect it. And one thing I've been saying about Trump his entire presidency is, hey, I don't think he's racist, but the fact that he doesn't really call it out as much as he calls out everyone else, because he does a job to call out everybody, Antifa, every single sentence. So call out the white supremacists every single sentence as well. And so he makes living in this country scary for me, because it's like now you empower these groups and now they're like cheering, yes, this is my guy. And so now anybody who's a fucking like loser kid in his basement just looking for a group to be a part of, now they might look towards these groups because like, oh shit, the president doesn't disavow these groups. So it's like you're helping this grow by not speaking out about it. And that's the shit I just can't fuck with.
To your point in one of your rants, it's not enough to not be racist anymore.
Yeah.
You got to be anti-racist. If you're especially if you're the president. If you're 4 jackoffs in a podcast, all right, we can crack our jokes and what. If you're the president, you got to condemn supremacy of all kinds. Condemn white supremacists, condemn Black Panthers, whatever you want. Jihadists, who cares? Any supremacist, condemn it. And then to just be like, but what about the left? It's like, bruh, this is wild. And it is what he empowers is like, oh, and I'm not the guy who's been bashing Trump for 4 years. I thought he was hilarious up until Corona. Now it's like, oh, this is a problem.
And I've heard the defense where people say, oh, well, Chris Wallace asked him like 2 questions. And I don't necessarily think that's a good defense.
There's one question.
Exactly. Because he had the opportunity, because Chris Wallace asked him, like, would you disavow or would you condemn white supremacy? And he goes, yeah, sure. And then he goes, well, okay, so will you condemn like militia groups in cities like Kenosha, blah, blah, blah. And it was a different question. But even if he's asking a different question, you just
clarify.
I denounce white supremacy.
Hey, are you hungry?
Matter of fact, you could say this. You could go, listen, I denounce white supremacy. I understand how militia groups would want to protect a city from burning, especially if they have friends that own these businesses. I understand that. If those militia groups happen to also be white supremacists, I disavow that white supremacy. But I do understand private citizens wanting to protect their businesses or their friends' businesses from burning down when they feel they've taken no part in this, egregious violation of rights against Black people. How simple is that? How do I know how to answer that question? You're the president of the United States. You know you're going to get asked about it.
He knows how to answer. He's just smart enough to know that this was going to be the biggest televised debate in history, and it's too close to the election to say something like that and possibly lose that.
That's pussy, bro. All right, guys, we're going to take a break for a second because I don't want you to die. Stop dying, okay? And you're doing things to put your life in jeopardy. And that's smoking cigarettes. You're hitting that vape thing. The vape's got more smoke than the cigarettes. We don't even know what the hell that's going to do to you. Cut that out. You want your nicotine fix? Just get the gum and get the lozenge from Lucy.co. Lucy.co, they spent 3 years working on how to create a product for people, not patients, okay? If you want to get off that dangerous smoking version of the nicotine, but you can't cut that nicotine out of your diet, you get the gum, you get the lozenges. They come in 3 different amazing flavors, and you literally are going to save your life. You literally are going to get out of a hospital bed so that can be used for someone that actually needs it. Okay, don't take up those hospital beds. Treat yourself better. Don't smell like smoke all day. Lucy.co. Use the promo code Flagrant. You're going to get 20% off your order. Go there right now. Stay alive. Let's get back to the show. That's pussy, bro.
Trump is not.
That's pussy.
He's calculated. This
and he fell for Biden's bait. Like, Biden's the one that set up and said, oh, the Proud Boys. And then Trump then took the bait. Oh. It wasn't Chris Wallace that said the Proud Boys. It was Biden.
Yeah.
And so he goes, who do you want me to condemn? And he goes, the Proud Boys. And then he fell for the bait and said, Proud Boys, stand down. And I think as he's saying it, he goes, but also stand by.
He didn't even say stand down. And this, I listened to it again because Chris Wallace said, will you tell them to stand down or something?
Or stand back.
Trump doesn't say stand down. He says stand back and stand by.
Right.
Which even like, he won't even give Chris Wallace stand down. Stand back. It's like, take a step back.
And then clarifies and tries to help him out and be like, but also, hang around.
Yeah.
And that's the shit that's scary to me.
Yeah.
Stand by. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
And that is like, again, I think clever wording of they're going to hear that as like, yo, stand by. We got orders coming to act. Stand by. Be ready. Yo, stand by is, to me, I hear that as be ready. Stand by for a second.
That's an order in the military.
Yeah.
That's an order in the military. That's an order in law enforcement. Stand by. That's like be ready for the next next assignment.
How depressed are QAnons right now?
Why?
I'm just saying, like, they're like, yo, where's our shout out? You couldn't get another, like, couldn't throw a Q up or something? You couldn't say 13 or 17? What's the letter?
Yeah, 17.
17? You couldn't give us a little shout out? Where are we standing by? Like, hello? We've been rocking for you. Everybody's a lizard. We sell everybody the lizard. Okay, these Proud Boys get a haircut and all of a sudden they're the gang that you support the most?
The unloved child.
That's it. Yeah, that's what QAnons are.
Like, they have cool shirts, but what about us?
Yeah, get back in the basement is basically what Trump said. Go back to your Googles.
And I don't think Trump is a racist necessarily. I think he's a businessman. He's a marketer always, and he doesn't want to lose his core demographic.
Yo, I mean, let's call it what it is, right? Didn't he have some like racist real estate policy in terms of
true.
Right, renting his places or even selling to minorities or whatever?
Not renting,
right? Which was a very common practice amongst these like big real estate companies, right?
Okay.
You've seen this type of racism permeate. Like that's what
it was common
the
practice
Clippers
in
guy
America
did,
for a
right?
while.
Pardon?
It was common practice in America.
Yeah,
Redlining.
of course,
Yeah.
redlining and like the not allowing. I think it was even you said your friends.
Yeah, I had a friend
parents
whose parents' house has that in the deed from like the 50s. Like someone I know.
It was in the 40s.
Yeah.
Basically, the deed said, "Hey, if you do sell this house, you have to sell it to a white family." Right. So this was just common.
Yeah.
Right. Not justifying it, but it was common. So the question for a guy like Trump is in that situation: is he racist? I don't know if he doesn't like black people. I'm not sure. But is he willing to compromise his values for profit?
If you're making the roads to the Klan, like you're not in the Klan, but you're making
like we heard this shit yesterday. We got to look back to make sure it's real. But like that Coca-Cola couldn't sell their syrup to Germany during the war, so they made Fanta.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
They don't get no sugary drinks, bro. That's if you go against the boys, you don't get no sugary soda.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Right?
No, I'm with you.
I'm tight. Like, how is Pepsi not running that?
Yeah, they fucked that
What is
up.
this taste test? Ain't no taste test. They're Nazis.
Yeah.
How about that? Coke is Nazis.
This one tastes a little anti-Semitic.
Exactly.
Yeah, that you mention it.
Yeah. I mean, what color is even a Coke, isn't it? The Coke Zero Jews? Is that what the Coke Zero is? This is ridiculous.
Zero is the final solution.
Yo, how to get rid of all the calories?
Oh, man.
So it's like, I don't know, man. It was a real bummer, dude. It was a real bummer because I guess I felt like I've defended Trump because I think that he has gotten an unfair shake by media. I still believe he's gotten an unfair shake by media. And I think that unfair shake is now justified because they've put a lot of stuff on him that is entirely not true because it goes along with this image did he just justify with that statement. So if he wasn't that before, he's completely confirmed the suspicion of that by not just condemning
what's interesting is another workaround that a lot of people will do is I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer, right?
Right.
That's like a workaround that people see through, but people do it a lot. He literally said, I will answer however you want me to answer. What do you want me to do? And then they say, condemn white supremacy. He said, hey guys, stand by. That was like, he said, I will dignify this with an answer. No.
So this, you know what I mean? This is 100%. This is how you know how pussy his fucking strategy is. Yo, whoever's in his camp is terrified. That's a terrified man on that stage, bro. I've never seen Trump terrified. But just his demeanor, he didn't look confident. He didn't look like the bully that he was last election. I thought
early on, man, I thought his Amy Coney Barrett answer, I was like, that's a fucking great answer.
What's that?
I said that. My girl got upset. They were like, about rushing her into the Supreme Court seat.
Yep.
He was like, look, the Democrats couldn't do it 4 years ago because they didn't have the Senate.
Yeah, with Merrick.
We won.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it just like they would have done it if they won.
Yeah, it's great.
Great answer. And that's when Biden is stumbling through that. And I'm like, oh, this finna be a wash. It's a bloodbath. But
started out good.
Then once Corona came, you saw Biden kind of perk up and Trump start to lose it because he knows that's indefensible.
Yeah, and another misstep that Trump made is that Biden didn't really have great answers for some of the questions. He was like kind of fumbling, like he was kind of wandering, didn't exactly know where he wanted to go, didn't have his points lined up. And Trump, instead of letting him fall on his sword, interrupted him and bailed him out.
Yeah, there was a lot of bailouts.
I saw some right-wing people saying that. I also thought Biden let a lot of shit slide. When Trump doesn't condemn white supremacists, Biden goes and defends Antifa.
Oh, yeah, he could've
and it's like, bro, hop on that.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He just threw you the fucking lob, and then you're talking about Antifa?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about these vegan pussies.
I will say this, though. I didn't understand Trump's strategy at first. It wasn't until the next day when I came into the studio and I was talking to Robbie, right? And I was like, I just don't understand what he was trying to do out there. Like, you don't condemn white supremacy.
Idea, but I want to hear what
Yeah, he's like, you don't condemn white supremacy, right? So essentially you're just playing into, I guess, your base that is, if not racist, they're okay with you not condemning white supremacy, right? So you're borderline, you're close, right? I'm like, what the fuck was he trying to do? I don't get it. And then Robbie goes, what he was trying to do is remove Biden's left support. Extreme left support. I go, wait, what do you mean?
He just lost the left.
And what did he constantly tag? Oh, you're a socialist. Oh, AOC. Oh, you have the radical left. You see the Bernie, whatever. He's trying to take AOC supporters, Bernie supporters, any of those, not want to say extreme, but very left-leaning folks away from Biden. Yeah. And he's trying to make Biden make statements like, oh, so you don't support the Green New Deal? And now all the AOC people and all the Biden, Bernie people are going to be like, well, fuck this guy. He don't support the
And they might not vote for Trump, but if they don't vote, that's a vote for Trump.
So he's trying to do is reduce votes in general. And that's the whole thing with the Postal Service and the mail-in ballots, et cetera. He knows if he can reduce votes just to his extremist base, then he can win this election.
And that's why he can't denounce white supremacy, because that extremist base will vote for him. They don't give a fuck.
His gamble is this. Conservatives are going to vote for me because I'm the only option. The extremists are going to come out.
Yeah.
Because they fuck with me hard and I'm not going to condemn them. Democrats might be more split.
Yeah.
And if they are, he wants to keep that split that's to the left away from the polls.
Yeah.
And that's all he was trying to do. And I could see that strategy being successful because Biden is so uninspiring.
Truly. But
goddamn you pussy motherfucker.
But that, bro. I think, is where because they're moderate Democrats in general, I don't think vote. There's a saying, Democrats fall in love, Republicans fall in line. Yeah. Democrats love a motherfucker and then don't vote. Republicans are quietly just like, all right, we'll go to the polls.
Yeah.
But I think when he doesn't condemn white supremacists, I think a lot of moderates are like, we got to get this guy out of here.
Yeah, it just is a bad look. And what also frustrated me about that is that in that interaction, Chris Wallace goes, will you condemn white supremacy? And he goes, look, the violence does not come from the right wing. It comes a lot more from the left wing. Basically asserting and conflating white supremacy with the right wing or like with conservatives. And if you're a conservative, you're like, I just I'm not with abortion. Like I want like family units. I don't want
to pay taxes. I also want black people to live.
I'm not a white supremacist. If you're a conservative, you hear that, it's like, white supremacy is not a right ideology.
That is crazy.
You know
That's a window into his ideology about the election. He's like, okay, these right wing, even if he's not a racist, he believes his voters are.
Yeah.
And if you're a conservative in that moment, you got to take that in and be like, oh, that's what this motherfucker thinks I am?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that bugged me, like, because I would consider like conservative opinions, and it's like, for like white supremacy is not any of those.
We can see if we got a Democratic like think tank behind the scenes motherfuckers listening to us, because if they do, they will take Mark's idea and they will tell the conservative, this is what this guy thinks of you.
What up, people? You just watched a clip from our weekly Patreon episode. You can support the flagrancy. You can support this unapologetic, unfiltered, uncensored content that we drop weekly on our Patreon at patreon.com/flagrant2. You want to go join? You should, because it's the top 10 Patreon in the fucking world. That's right, for good reason. Go check out why at patreon.com/flagrant2. All right, peace.